All right, before we move on to more wargaming, I wanted to see a movie last night called Napoleon and Josephine. I mean, Napoleon. Oh, yeah. I kind of want to say I was disappointed in it, but it would only be slightly disappointed because it really, it was Ridley Scott's attempt at a romantic movie. But he tried to incorporate historical stuff in there, and you can only do so much in a short period of time. So a real good movie, done historically accurate. I wonder about some parts of that. He did it cinematography in this movie was great. He had a really good. He'll grab you. They grab you right away with the initial scene of the old horse taking a cannonball to the chest. So that makes you think it's going to be a real graphic war movie, but it kind of peters out after that. It's more of a romantic attempt. And don't get me wrong, anybody that knows Napoleon knows it was Josephine definitely was a major part of his psychology in his life. But and they did have some good battles. I think he concentrated mostly on Austerlitz, which was done really good, and then Waterloo. There was some cheesy parts in there where Joaquin Phoenix was commanding his army and just kind of shouting out like, "Attack him on the right, let loose the infantry," and they just all of a sudden let loose. Or I think historically and more accurately, it took couriers. He gave the order to a courier, and they had to go right on off. And I think that was kind of goofy the way I think I would have done the battles kind of a little bit more authentic. I think any war gamer knows how battles go. No, it didn't go. He didn't just raise his arm. I mean, the front line was miles long. He didn't just say, attack. That's, the left flank, 3/4 of a mile or a half mile away, cavalry just starts, attacking. That was my only little beef. I mean, other than that, it was done pretty good. A few scenes where you see old Napoleon going at it with Josephine, we could have did without. Want to see Napoleon bang, you can do that. The girl that played Josephine was really good. It was really good. It was, there was a miniseries in the 1980, I think it was 1987, called Napoleon and Josephine, a Love Story, with Ahmad Asante. He played a really good Napoleon. Better than Joaquin Phoenix, maybe, but it was an 80s cheesy, it was dated series. But Jacqueline Bisset was Josephine. That's basically, I think, what he tried to do in this. It just seemed like to me like it was a modern version of Josephine or Napoleon and Josephine, a Love Story, which was all right. Out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it a 4 out of a 5. But I think if you weren't historian, you'd probably only think it was a 3 out of 5. My girlfriend thought it was really good, and she don't know really very much about Napoleon. So we seen it in the recliners, didn't see it in the IMAX. But I don't know if he took liberties towards the end where he had Napoleon meeting on a ship with Wellington. Did that happen? I'm not a historian, but I didn't know they ever met each other. So I thought that was kind of goofy. It ended really goofy. I mean, it ended horribly. Not historically accurate for sure, because Napoleon was poisoned, and he probably died in bed suffering, little by little. But they had him kind of like a Godfather 3 ending with Michael Corleone, where he's sitting in a chair, fully uniformed, and he just falls over and dies. So it's on St. Helena. Yeah, he took some liberties on some of that stuff. You're kind of a historical nut like me, but yeah, that was about it. Like I said, he had some good battles. Austerlitz, I know the Battle of Austerlitz, and I guess I'm sure he did his homework, and did it historically, but it was all right. I mean, he made a big scene about them retreating and through the ice. That's, a big part of the trailers and everything. Waterloo, like I said, you can only do so much in so much time. It was all right for the amount of time he had in it. They showed a real good example of squares forming. But other than that, I think Waterloo could have been done a lot better. Like I said, 4 maybe 3 or 4 stars out of 5. It was okay. Would I go pay to see it in the theater again? Yeah, I guess I would. It's always nice to see a big screen. But yeah, I'm a big Ripley Scott fan. I think the only time I go to the theater, the last few times, has been let me see, Blade Runner 2049, Ripley Scott movie. Alien Prometheus, another Ripley Scott movie, and I think Maverick, the Top Gun, but that's not Ripley Scott. But anyway, that was it. Yeah, it was good. It's not going to be a big war movie. I think they concentrated on a lot of his tactics and stuff more on Toulon, the Battle of Toulon, and stuff like that. I mean, you can only do so much. It was a long movie, but it could have been a lot longer. So, like I said, Ripley Scott's Napoleon and Josephine movie. We'll be back.